Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, a couple hard blocks and a soft block will likely come in handy, and then anything else you like to have around. We're going to get started in a crocodile pose, so down on the belly. So if you like to have your soft block near the top of the mat, and then come to lying down as you feel ready. So take a moment to get comfortable. If you need any extra padding under the pelvis, or if you like a cushion for underneath the ankles or anything like that, then take a moment to add that in. And then for today, we'll take the elbows down onto the prop and then see what feels best here. Maybe you're going to prop the palms onto the forehead. You could also do palms onto the jaw instead. So see what feels like a better expression. There's always the expression as well where you can rest your forehead on the prop also. So see what feels best for today. I'm going to take palms to the forehead. And if there's anything that needs a little adjustment, if you'd like a little more sensation through the shoulders or the triceps, you can also explore walking the elbows a little further forward, maybe a little closer together. And once you feel comfortable, maybe close down the eyes. If anything feels a little fidgety here and you need a little movement before you settle in, feel free to do that first. And then notice what you're feeling here. Notice your breathing and gently follow that breath in and out of the body. Notice if there's any part of the body where maybe a little tension is starting to build, or maybe there's something that's working a little harder than it has to be. And for these last few breaths in this shape, see if you can soften anything you don't need. And if you need a little more time in this shape, please stay as long as you need to. When you feel ready, you can gently lift the head and then separate the elbows nice and wide, maybe lowering the forehead onto your prop. Give the head just a gentle rock side to side. Awesome. You can keep the cushion nearby. Come up to a tabletop position. And we're going to set up thread the needle for the upper body. So two options. One is to do this from a tabletop position, and you can also do the same shape from child's pose. If you're doing the child's pose version, I would suggest having the knees a little bit wider apart just so that you have room to maneuver. And I'm going to do it from tabletop for today. So starting off, we'll start with the left side, so reaching that left arm up towards the ceiling, and then thread the left arm through underneath the right, lowering that left shoulder, maybe the left side of the head, and the prop might be handy here. And then see what the hips are doing. If they're starting to lean over towards the right, you might gently bring them back to center and might deepen the stretch. See what you'd like to do for the right hand so it can stay exactly as it is. If you like, you can explore a half bind, maybe taking that right hand to the left hip. Or maybe you're bringing the right palm onto the left. Make sure it feels like a pain-free expression, that there's no pinching in the shoulder or the neck. And you might also see if there's some small adjustment you might make, maybe find a better stretch somewhere. If the right hand is somewhere other than the floor, bring it back first, and then gently start to unravel the body. You can take a counter stretch, reaching the left arm back up towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, you can bring that hand down. We'll set straight up for the second side. So when you feel ready to, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, and then thread the right arm through, lowering right shoulder, right side of the head, and then notice this side may feel a little different to the first. You might check in, bring the hips to midline, left hand to the floor, maybe to the right hip, maybe onto that right palm. Making any adjustments you need, and then finding your stillness as you feel ready. And bringing your left hand back to the floor if it's somewhere else, and grounding down and gently unraveling. Reach the right arm high, take your counter stretch. And then coming back to your tabletop position, a few rounds of cat-cow might feel nice here. You can also do a similar movement, but snaking the spine side to side. And take a few breaths and move it out any way you need to. Awesome. From here, we'll come and find a squat. So, any way you like to get there, you can set yourself up. And then for today, I'm going to choose to make myself a seat with a hard block. So, you might choose to do the same, or if you want to have like the freestanding squat, then go for it. And take a moment to get yourself set up. So, one option is to leave the hands to the floor the whole time. And sometimes that helps with balance as well. You can also work with an upright spine, or for today, I'm going to talk through fold inwards. So see what it feels like to interlace the hands behind the skull. Make sure it doesn't create any negative sensation there. And then imagine that the head is really, really heavy, and just start to round inwards, go as far as you'd like. As you find your painful expression, make sure you can still breathe comfortably here. And at any point, you can come out or modify your shape. Gently deweight the head first, releasing hands to the floor, and then slowly unravel the spine. Maybe elbows onto the knees. You might press the palms together and then start to lengthen the spine, maybe reaching the chin up towards the ceiling for a counter stretch. Awesome. And then we'll head towards a forward fold or a dangling shape. So you can start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, heel toe the feet a little closer together, and find a natural, comfortable stance. It might feel good just to pedal out the legs a little bit here, sway the hips. Now listen to your body. If a forward fold is a little too much for the low back, you're welcome to be in more of a halfway lift shape, maybe using your blocks for support, or if you want support and the floor is a little far away, the blocks might be handy. You can also give yourself as much of a bend to the knees as you need. So depending on how much you're bending, if you're bending the knees a little bit more, it might help you target the hamstrings more. If you have the legs more extended, maybe it's helping you target the back body a little more. Feel free to play around. And then from here, we'll do two expressions with the arms. We'll start off by either bringing the hands to the low back or interlacing the hands there. You can leave them down or think about starting to reach them up towards the ceiling. And then even here, you might check in, maybe a gentle rock side to side. And when you're ready, you can start to find your stillness, find your breath. And we're about halfway through the fold, so if you like this arm expression and you want to keep it for the rest of the time, then go for it. Otherwise, gently release your arms down. And then we'll do earmuffs with the palms, so bringing your palms over the ears and not holding too tight, but just tight enough that you're adding a little weight to the skull. And then let the neck be as soft as you can make it. So if you're holding the head in a specific spot, then see if you can let that go. So prioritizing the neck here, and if that means bending the knees a little bit more or modifying the rest of the shape, then go for it. Now, if you have the hands on the head, gently release them. Maybe hands to your blocks or to the legs. Come and find a halfway lift. And then just move the spine out a little bit here. Maybe wiggle the hips, move the legs. And when you're ready, lower yourself down to a seat. You can get there any way you like. So coming to find any comfortable seated position, maybe sitting up off of one of your props. Take a moment to settle the hips, to lengthen the spine, and soften the shoulders. And then from here, we'll take the right ear towards the right shoulder, but then turn the jaw a little bit towards the shoulder as well. And then play around with this and find that spot where the stretch across the left side of the neck feels the best. So any angles. And then once you find that sweet spot, pause into it. If you like more sensation, you can think about reaching the left fingertips down to the floor. And if you'd like more still, you can bring that right hand to the head, and without pulling, just adding the weight of the right arm to deepen the stretch. If the left hand is extended, you can bring it back in and gently release the right hand down. Roll that chin in towards the chest and then over to the opposite side. And just go side to side a couple of times, chin towards the chest, right ear towards the right shoulder, and then chin towards the chest, left ear towards the left. Next time the ear comes towards the left, then pause there. And again, play around, maybe point the chin a little more towards the shoulder or the ear. And this side may feel a little different than the first. Once you find that sweet spot with the best stretch across the right side of the neck and towards that right shoulder, pause there. Maybe extending the right fingertips down towards the right, and maybe bring the left hand way down the head. Gently bring the right hand back to the lap, release the left arm if it's lifted, roll the chin in towards the chest, and then the head over towards the right. And chin to chest, head over towards the left. And do this a few more times with your breath. Awesome. If you want to go back and forth a little bit more, you're welcome to. Otherwise, as you're ready, bringing the head back up, stacking it on top of the spine. And we've been sitting cross-legged a little while, so you might choose to switch the cross of the legs, or if you need to change up your expression altogether, then go for it. From here, take the right hand down to the floor. You can either reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, or straight away bend the elbow and catch the back of the head or neck. But take an inhale here, lengthen that whole left side, and as you exhale, start to arc over towards the right. Now you can position that right hand a little further away if you like. Find that whole stretch through the left side, into the armpit, even the shoulder. And if you need to adjust where the head is pointing at all here, maybe turning the gaze down or up if something would feel better for the neck, then go for it. Slowly bring your way back up. And you can release the left hand, maybe rolling the shoulders a couple of times. And then we'll set that up on the second side. So reaching the left fingertips to the floor, right arm either towards the ceiling or hand towards the back of the neck. Lengthen that whole right side. And as you exhale, start to arc over towards the left, and you can slide that left hand a little further away. Check in with the neck, see what feels best here. With the support of the left hand, gently start to lift yourself back up. And you can release both hands now towards the knees. Roll the shoulders a few times in each direction. Awesome. As you're ready, come back to your stillness. And we'll rest in a seated meditation for today, but if you'd rather come to lying down or find any other comfortable, symmetrical, quiet shape, then go for it. If anything feels a little fidgety, give yourself a little shake out. And then settling the hips and gently lengthening the spine, softening the shoulders. Maybe a slight tuck of the chin in towards the throat to keep the back of the neck light, nice and long. Closing down the eyes, find your stillness. Gently bring your attention back to this space. Bring the chin in towards the chest, and then very gently give your head a rock side to side. When you're ready, stack the head back on top of the spine, and then give the shoulders a roll a few times in each direction. And then settling the shoulders down, bring the hands to connect in front of the heart, maybe bow the chin in towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. And my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.